All right, we'll now bring this workshop to order. Of course, the workshop's open to the public, but public comments are not given during workshops. This is for discussion of council and city manager and other people up here. Therefore, no votes will also be made. If you're listening, you can view the workshop by logging on to beckley.org or the city's Facebook page. And with that, we will turn it over to the first item, which is the opioid funds. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Gerald for an opening statement on that.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. The purpose of this work session is to get some kind of direction on how we're going to spend this opium funds. I've been doing research on it. I've been contacting individuals. I've been contacting organizations pertaining to this funding. We also have made out a registration form to go on the internet to ask for funding. I wanted your input in, are you going to limit the amount of funds that an organization can get? I have been in contact with Charleston, and they went in partnership with the United Way to actually run. They give them $1 million they actually run their opium funds. So they went in partner with the United Way, Miss O'Neill, and I went and met with Trina Daisel this morning, and spoke with her pertaining to that. And she got me some information. I don't think it's any reason not to read it. So just one second. I got plenty of information here. If I could find it. But anyway, she got me the information I needed pertaining to what the city of Charleston is doing. The city of Charleston actually formed a care unit back in 2019 that handles, they look at the drug cases and those types of units, or addictions and families and resources and those types of things. But they partner with the United Way of Central West Virginia to administer $1 million of opioid funds, with the United Way acting as the fiscal agent. So these are just some thoughts I'm giving you.
Sure.
So I can get some direction. $600,000 will be granted this year, and $100,000 per year for the next 4 years. United Way's administrative fee is 10%. They will receive $60,000 this year and $10,000 each for the remaining 4 years. And basically what they do is go out here, if you ask for the donations through the internet, they actually go out and join with the organization and interview them and make sure that the outcomes and the strategies are in line with the opioid funding. So they do it exactly the way that they do their funds, okay? So they also have a 9-member committee that was formed by the city and approved by the city council. When we formed the committee, you got to remember, this cannot be, the committee cannot be made up of individuals that actually has organizations that pertains to this type of information, this type of strategies. If they're in business to do it, then they would be in conflict of interest. Okay, if they approve some fundings, and so this committee that votes on this and approves some of these funds, they cannot be involved in any of the organizations. You know, we can get them and ask them for information, but we cannot put them on a committee to approve any grants. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Same way. Okay, it'd be almost like the LRA I mentioned last night, whereas I was trying to get members, but they're actually people that builds, and you just can't put them on a committee. It'd be conflict of interest. The city was assisted by the United Way in determining the panel of people. The committee was to approve the grants after reviewing the applications from the internet. The panel consists of several medical professionals, a former U.S. attorney, Mayor Goodwin's chief of staff and individuals with experience in treatment, prevention, and recovery, which this grant is made for. Members of the panel cannot be directly affiliated with any entity that may benefit from the funding, and they must recuse themselves from the decision regarding any entity that they might include a conflict of interest. So even United Way will accept the applications. What is that? Oh,
It's trouble.
so this is just some of the information. I also had a phone call in Mr. Brush. So this is just for informational purposes, and you're all some kind of direction. If you want to form committees, if you want to actually turn it over to somebody like the United Way to do this actions, then I will certainly take the recommendations and go forward with it. So,
Let me ask you a question about, so the city council in Charleston decided to form a panel. So
the city
once
council
the
and the
United-
United Way.
So once the United Way and then that panel is formed, is anything else run by city council, or is it just
Nope.
completely run
It's
through the panel?
City council's required to approve the final approval of the payment before it can go out.
So they do get final
They do
approval?
have to,
Okay,
yes.
that's what I was asking, if it just.
But as
if
far
it was
as
completely
the
out of hands.
grants and those types of things, it's done through the committee and the United Way.
So the committee can recommend it, but the city council would have to approve it.
Gotcha. And you said you spoke to Trina this morning?
Yes,
Is she in
yes.
favor of doing something similar to this?
I haven't got that far with it.
Okay.
I mean, this is just something that recently happened.
Right.
So I was just on the internet searching, and this is something that just recently happened. And a couple of you had already mentioned forming a committee, or a panel. It's called a panel or a committee pertaining to these funds. I also have some applications already, but some of the things that they asked for, the Board of Education is one, doesn't even qualify. They've asked for a couple of teachers, but it wasn't anything to do with drug prevention. It was counselors.
It wasn't only.
And their total job is not drug prevention.
Yeah, but it wasn't only counselors, the recommendations that Dr. Starcher provided us. There were other.
There was
things that
other items on there. I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying there's
that I
some of
believe-
those things that did not pertain to this grant.
Right, and some of them did pertain to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but,
So let's look at that too, please.
you know, sure. There's counselors, but they don't spend 100% of their time doing counseling on drugs. So,
Not, that's what I'm saying, not
Yeah.
only the counselors, but there were other items on there that pertain to the grant. And several of the children that are in our elementary schools, especially the Title I schools,
I'm not,
they were affected, no, I'm just saying that they were affected, not only them, but their parents were affected by this opioid epidemic. That's all I've
Sure.
got to say. Thank you.
yeah, we discussed that this morning pertaining, me and Ms. Daisel, pertaining to how many grandparents was raising their kids and those types of things. Also, I got the letter by the Attorney General that tells you what the approved purposes is for this grant. I'm assuming that this was sent to you the same time the MOU was. So if you got any other questions about that, and like I said, we have an application and ready to go up on the internet if you're ready for it. And if there's some kind of limitation on how much you want to spend or those types of things, we'll certainly do that.
Is there any reason why we as council, since the money was allocated to the city of Beckley, that we cannot oversee the money completely?
You can do what you like, sir.
Bill, Margaret Ann crosses her T's and dots her I's, and the United
Yes.
Way of South Central West Virginia does a marvelous job, as she did here. And while I would be in favor of that, I have to be mindful of a conversation that was had regarding the fire department, and every time you all are toned out for an overdose, that you could determine how many times, right, Jessica, you could determine how many times and be able to, if that was an overdose thing, that we could reimburse ourselves for
yes.
that. I think
I-
that we should really look at that.
Well, I got that right here. I got the recommendations. Like I said, I got several things in this
Yeah.
folder right here that I could
I
email
mean, when
you.
that's taken away from our resources and those,
Yes.
they can't, I mean, I think that, while I think that we do vet 501c3s that do applications or
Yes,
grants
ma'am.
for the United Way, and they would do the same thing with people that are, now let me ask you this, do the people that are requesting opioid funding, do they have to be a 501c3?
Yes.
Okay. Even though Bryan's Safe House is out of city limits, would they be eligible for opioid funding?
That's a question I had with several people this morning. Is these funds restricted to the city?
To the city? Jessica? it is-
There's nothing in the MOU that says that it is.
City.
They do serve residents of the city.
Right.
Yes.
So because they're outside of city limits?
Well,
Right?
the
Is that
county,
correct?
the county
They should
also, you know,
Oh,
the county.
that's right, the county
The
does.
county also has $5 million,
That's
so,
right,
so
that's-
they actually have $2 million more than
Yeah.
what we receive, so the
Oh,
county
I
could,
forgot.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
could
be
certainly
able to-
subsidize
Okay,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we
So,
know the total that the fire department would be reimbursed? Have we run those
I have
numbers
some, I just got them today, really.
That one didn't have the
It didn't have the
response
grand
numbers
total.
or anything on there. We can look it up and see what kind of number.
I can-
I know they've purchased some naloxone in the past too, so we could
Yeah.
also reimburse for
But the
that.
personnel that are
And we
going
can
out?
we can also reimburse for the DARE program
Yeah.
partially. If
Yeah.
they're 50% DARE and 50% police officer, then we can certainly reimburse for the 50% DARE program, which
But
goes
not
out in
all-
the schools for the elementary.
I understand
kids.
that, but not only for the naloxone, if you have an individual and
yes.
that fire department, and that,
Yes.
that person has a salary and everything that goes,
Yeah.
that all,
Yes.
And there's,
that all
you
is.
know,
Yes.
there's
combined in
mileage
that.
on there for those fire trucks. They're not
But-
cheap to run.
but- okay,
So
okay.
you're running those a lot
yeah.
more than you would for
Okay.
a regular fire.
Yeah.
So that has to come into play at some point
Okay.
too.
But there's a ton of questions. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you got 10 different people up here. I'm sure 10, all of us would have different ideas, and we talk to different people in the community. We'd all have, if you come up with your top 5 things we should do with the money, you'd probably come up with 50 different answers.
Yes.
That'd be good.
And of course, it's up to council, but I like the idea of forming a panel to advise council and say, hey, listen, and especially people that are involved in prevention and treatment, recovery, that deal with this on a daily basis. And I use Jay Phillips at Seed Sowers as somebody that deals with this every day of the week.
But he'd have a conflict.
Well, he wouldn't be able to get any of the money. He wouldn't, but I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. He may not even want to be on the panel.
Right.
But if you found some people in there, you know, maybe doctors and people from the
Yes.
Board of Education, and put a few, maybe 5 or 6 people on a committee and just advise council and say, listen, we have taken in this many applications. You know, Jay Phillips, and gosh, I mean, I'm not going to swear by it because I think we had lunch like 2 or 3 months ago. But, you know, one of the things that he suggested, that he didn't care. He's like, you can do whatever you know, I'm not going to ask for a penny of it. He already told me that. But he's like, the one thing, don't be like some of these towns and governments that spend a year and then it's all gone. Then you're like, well, that didn't work out. You know, he said, I would I would advise council, put in something that's going to be self-sustaining. If this jump started, then that organization, that 501c can use that, but they'll be around for the next 10 years, and maybe you know, start with a bigger chunk the first year, and then each year you cut it by a certain amount, and it's, you know, they're benefiting from it for like 5 or 10 years. But
Yeah, it's the same way as United Way
Yeah,
was doing
yeah.
with Charleston's money. They were spreading it over, you know, 3, 4, 5 years. So when we're talking about forming a panel, we're talking about doctors, possibly people that works with it like Mr. Brash, EMTs,
police,
Police department.
fire department,
Police
police department.
Is there a time limit on this grant?
No,
No,
they've just
no.
suggested that we need to start spending
Spending
it
some of the
somehow.
money. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll start
There's-
spending somehow, but
No, there's no,
And
and
No,
we'll,
no,
and we'll
there's-
receive funds for years to come, so,
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
But it was, to Frank's, I mean, it was brought up that, several meetings ago, that it may be a time where that money would run out and somebody would ask for it back, but they did find out that was not true. that it
Right,
would not
it's just,
expire.
it's just that they do want us to do something with it
Rather than just sitting on
quicker,
it.
yes.
Okay, what is
think-
the application deadline? How much time do we give? When do we give people the opportunity?
Well, every one of them I looked at online was giving everybody a month
A
to
month.
submit them.
Okay,
So we can get our application process on the website immediately, I guess.
I don't know
At
that
least
it-
next week.
I don't know that it would be a conflict, but the person that you have that's working with the peer recovery, that person would be a
I would
good
not,
person
I
on
would
that.
not think that would be a
I think,
conflict of
no, I
interest.
wouldn't think, no, I think that would be a perfect, you know,
The woman that's working
That was-
like in the
mhm.
office.
FMRS, you might
Yeah,
want to
someone-
contact
Yeah.
FMRS.
yeah, a social worker, definitely.
And please put Dr. Starcher on there,
I don't know, they're sitting pretty plush.
or a representative
That's the Board of
from the
Education.
Raleigh
Got more
County
money than
Board
anybody.
of Education. Thank
I
you.
don't know why we can give them the 23rd. It's 20
Board of Ed.
no, it's still 23rd.
Yeah, I agree with you. Somebody from the Board of Education, police. Yeah.
I just say we get the applications rolling, get it posted, and then, I mean, at the end of the day, just have work sessions on looking at all the applications and deciding that way. But I mean, at this point, I mean, we don't really know who's interested in wanting to receive the money and what they're wanting to use it for, per se. I mean, we know a few, but
Is there a stipulation
Well, that's-
of the amount of money that you want to give per application?
Well, you could always approve a lesser amount, but that'd be up to council, you know. they
That's
could
what I'm
ask for a
saying.
certain
I
amount.
mean, do
So
you
they
want,
could ask
you
for
want to
whatever.
put a limit on it at 50,000? That's what,
I-
just no
I would
limit at
read
all?
what they ask for first. I've read a lot of grant
Okay,
applications. I would see what
It's
they
unlimited.
ask for first and then decide if it merits that much or if we could give less.
And Mr. Joe, you and I talked about this a little bit yesterday about the criteria and things like that, and the things that you said that we should ask for from these 501c3s. Do you want to touch on that a little bit more? Like being able
well,
to
certainly
review
the
their
panel,
financials.
certainly the panel members, or some of them, should go out and visit these 501c3s and see the results.
Yes,
That's what you want to see.
yeah.
You want to see if the results.
I will say Angela King has been working on an application form.
Right.
She
I got-
couldn't be here tonight, but she'll certainly provide it to us. And it's-
I
She
got
spent a
it.
lot of time on that.
Here it is, right here. And I believe I sent it to council members.
You did.
I did.
It's very
I thought I did. One application per entity. All fields of the application must be completed, okay? Beckley.org, Angela King, ensure all required documents, forms, okay, that's just preliminary. Organizational name, address, contact person, work phone, email, tax ID, EIN number, type of organization, local government agency, nonprofit, healthcare provider, faith-based organization, or other. So evidently, it don't have to be a 501c3, okay? Right? Years of service, project title, project summary, it has to be concise, statement of need, why you need it, project objectives and outcomes, proposed activities, collaboration with the community impact, individuals of community service, how does your project impact the city directly, okay? Amount of matching funds raised or committed by your organization. There's a lot of cities that put, that they wanted matching funds of at least 20%. I know Fairmont is. So those are their applications. So, source of matching funds, say organization already had $100,000 of matching funds, or funds, and they wanted you to match it. So that's what we're asking, and where their funds came from. Please attach the following: organizational chart of leadership. Now, you have to remember that even Ms. Daisel said, they do not fund salaries. They do not fund capital improvements. They do not fund certain things. They fund the outcomes of this project, okay? And I agree with her 100%. We're not in the business to fund 501c3s as far as salaries or capital improvements. So there's some things that, most recent audited financial statements, most current bank statement, current operating budget showing sources of funds and expenses, commitment letters from sources of matching funds, and an IRS determination letter which determines that, drawings, photos, cost estimates, and 990s submittals. So, and support letters. So that's what's on the,
That's good.
Application.
yes, sir, application, those types.
And then it's subject to review, like once they get the
Yes,
money, after
yes.
like a certain amount of time,
Yeah,
maybe they come in before council and do like a presentation.
they can do
I love
that,
that
and
idea. See?
then you can actually go out and visit the organization and look and see what they actually do.
Right, with the money.
You know, which I certainly would like to do.
I think it's great.
Like I told Ms. Daisel this morning, I haven't been involved in much of this at all. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, and I've talked to several people that has, and I'll certainly talk to Mr. Brash and some of the other organizations, Raleigh County Community Action, before I do anything. So, it's really up to you all.
So on this committee, since council has the last say, so no one on council can be on this committee, is that correct?
Well, you have the final say-so on everything,
Yeah,
so,
I'm-
so,
right,
so,
right,
so,
but I'm
so,
for the actual committee itself.
oh, if you want to be, I would say so. I mean, that,
Would it not be?
yeah,
a
I would
conflict of
say
interest?
so. I wouldn't see any reason why you couldn't.
I'm saying,
You should be fine.
just keep things clear in my head. There may be no misunderstanding.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, it take a long time for that one. You ready to that one?
Anybody else have anything?
No.
If you like, I can put something on the internet. If somebody's interested in being on this committee or panel that you all approve, they can put their name in the hat. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Would council be able to vote who they
Yeah.
put on it?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the final say-so.
I like that idea.
yeah.
That's not a problem with me. If you're interested in serving, if you're interested in serving on this panel, that's great.
So we're asking Mr. Gerald to put a panel together then with
Sure, I'll
recommendations?
be glad to.
Okay.
I think first thing we need to do is to approve the, application, so we can go ahead and start putting it out there.
Was there a duration for the project on there? I didn't hear as you were reading. Is there a duration, like when it begins and when it ends?
We need to add that, yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember seeing that on there.
We've fallen silent.
Anyone?
I think this
Anyone?
might be a 45-minute conversation minimum, but I love the idea of the pet vote. It's up to you all, whatever you all think. If you want to let Mr. Gerald run with it.
The police department and fire department both
Yeah.
have prepared lists of suggestions that
Okay.
city departments have come up with,
So
in
my-
addition to, yeah.
Well, what I'll do there is I'll get with Jessica, and if we already have expenses incurred for like the DARE project and those types of things that we've already done, I'll submit those for you for reimbursement to the city. How's that? Okay,
And we
that's
can look
not a
at
problem.
at the fire departments and see what number we're looking at, and we can get with you guys and
Yes.
see what you all would like to,
How
yeah.
far back
Yes.
does the fire department go with that?
Oh, we could go way back, yeah. We can trace, and we could probably do a similar with the police department, yeah.
Okay, is that it?
Any other ideas?
You good?
I welcome
Whatever
them
your
all.
idea
If you think of something when you go home, hey, just send me an email.
Right.
That's all you gotta do. And I'll add it to the list of things to do.
Anybody else have a question?
All right, we'll
So-
move on to the next item, which is the Welcome Center. Again, I'll turn it over to City Manager Phil Jarrett. Opening statement on it?
I've talked with several people pertaining to the Welcome Center, and and reviewed some of the files. The biggest, I'm not gonna say it's a big problem, but I talked with Mitch down at the Trail Center, as you said, Cody, that you're interested in. And he had this proposal prepared, and, but he said that the things that he would be processing, like trails and stuff like that, is not completed yet. So really, the only good rails to trails is basically the only trail that basically he'd be a rail head on. So he said he would rather wait, and his estimate to renovate those offices down there and those types of things would be $100,000, which I agree with him. I mean, they're very small offices. The biggest part of that building is actually the garage in the back. That's the biggest part of it. And as I look through the number of people that visited the Welcome Center, you're looking at probably an average of 3 to 4 a day. So is it worth the expense to open it, or is it worth the expense to lease it or try to lease it to somebody? Or I discussed with Chief Bailey the opportunity to use it as a satellite police office, where he would put his peer person down there once or twice a week. I haven't, the FMRS has contacted me about setting a table up on the rails to trails for informational purposes and to hand out Narcan or those types of things. So we might be able to provide them with an office space down there to work with our peer person. He'd also have a police officer stationed down there. If you haven't noticed lately, there is a police cruiser stationed uptown right there at the Cardinal Park every day, just about, with a police officer. So we also have the bicycle patrolmen, and they can visit that site also. But it is what it is, and we had at one time 4 to 5 people down there on the staff payroll. It's not necessary, not for 3 or 4 people a day. It just isn't necessary. And rental of bikes, well, it's not even a rental of bikes. It's a hey, if you want to check out a bike and go for a bike ride, it's 3 to 4 people a day at the most. So it's really your determination to utilize it. It's really I've been down there several times, and egress and ingress is not a good thing for a travel center. I'm going to be honest about it. Backing in and that's a one-way street, so it's tough. I mean, you got 3 lanes coming down through there, and I don't know if any accidents has happened. I have no idea, but I know the egress and the ingress is tough at that location.
I did have a comment from one of the employees there who was concerned about people getting down there because by the time they saw the one-way sign, it was too late, and some people went the wrong way, whether it be to get to the Welcome Center or to McDonald's, and that was directly from one of the employees at the Welcome Center. So whatever we decide to do, we probably need better signage there.
Right, but the number of people is what bothers me about visiting it. That's the concern I have.
Jessica, I know you and Aunt Worley looked at it last year. Do you remember what the exact number of visitors was for 2024?
I never saw final reports. I asked for reports multiple times and never received
So
them.
we didn't even know how many
Didn't
people?
know how many people there were.
I have those numbers. I share those with
I got those numbers, and on average, about 3 people a day.
What I want to tell
mean,
you.
three. I mean, here in 2022, on 6/9 they have 1, 6/10 they have 1, 6/11 they have 1. This came straight out of the computer. So I'm just giving you the figures to make a decision. It's not my decision, it's your all's decision. I'm giving you the numbers that you requested. And, let's see, from 2023, the month of May, you had 29 visitors in
Do we have that, Mr.
2023.
Gerald?
Beg your pardon?
Do we have that paper that you're reading from?
No, I just got it recently myself.
Okay.
This
You-
is not the one Sherry gave me, this one came out of the computer.
Michelle Rondolini has said repeatedly that we are in a downtown revitalization. And one of the catchphrases that Leslie uses is quality of life. You've said that quite many times. I think when you look at this picture and you see a lot of people on their bikes, I mean, that's quality of life. Those kids are coming out and they're exercising, and the salaries, I mean, you're saying $100,000.
No, I didn't say 100,000. I said $100,000 to renovate the building.
Well, their employees, I mean, Vicki Webb was and that's a shame because Vicki was really thrown under the bus and she never received an apology, and that really bothers me.
Well, Ms. West,
You know,
like her, you
And
know.
she is, and Vicki, I want to thank you for, we're not supposed to converse, but with these reports that you put out, and, you know, for the whole year, last year, the salaries came to $15,271. We have to revitalize downtown. That is a perfect, I'm only one person, but we were not told it was going to close. It just closed arbitrarily. It just closed early, 3 weeks early. By that time, we had become a strong council on July 1. 3 weeks early, it was closed. And we were all shocked. So I had an epiphany, and my epiphany was, wait a minute, we're a strong council. We weren't told, we didn't vote to close it. It shouldn't have been closed to begin with. There are wonderful things that are happening. You've got General Alfred Beckley's families right here. I just, and it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. And you can see the Welcome Center from West Neville, Robert C. Byrd Drive. I mean, it's just, it isn't me. It just isn't me that would like to see the Welcome Center open back up. I mean, I believe that we're missing out on an opportunity to revitalize Beckley in a positive way. I asked Chief Bailey the other day, I said, Chief, what do you think about the rail trail? You said no more than any other place. That was what you told me, and you're agreeing as far as things happening. So I think we're just losing out on time. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I mean, if we're supposed to be a strong council and we're supposed to be leading for the greater good, and Leslie, you said it yourself, quality of life. I mean, there were positive things happening at the Welcome Center. So, and I want to publicly say, Vicki Webb, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you were a volunteer. You were a volunteer. And you were the person that's making that flower garden across from Stratton Elementary beautiful. And I want to thank you, because that's important. That's important. Thank you. And I think that deserves a round of applause. So what's the one over there?
And I do,
You know,
I also agree with you, Councilwoman at Large Sherry Hunter. Vicki Webb has volunteered her time, and the prior administration gave her the approval to do what she did, and she did an excellent job. When I go by there now and see that building and think about the Neff family, we were there at the opening of that building, and I think about them, my heart hurts when I see that building and how it looks now compared to when Vicki was taking care of
I would
everything
like to
there.
know about the inventory of the bikes. Those bikes were bought by donations and things. Where are those bikes, they're all still there?
Well, what I was told recently by someone who's in contact with the Knapp family was when they donated that building, they intended for it to be a 501c3 operating out of there. Well, that's what I was told. That person has been in contact with the Naff family, and that was what their initial plan was for it, was for a 501c3 to operate out of there.
why?
No.
Why would that matter?
That was just their idea.
Well, even if it's a 501c3 operation, that'd be covered under the, city 501c3, wouldn't it? So, I mean, so in other words, they already had it. But my main thing is question is this, why was it closed? What was the purpose of closing?
Yeah.
From what I remember, and of course I was new, and I'm just gonna tell you what I heard, is that, you know, you talk about the salaries was only 15,000 and some dollars, but if you look, it was only open from May 26th till September 14th. It wasn't like that salary was spread over a year. I mean, that was in like 3 or 4 months' time. And then you compound that on the fact that, from what I was told, there was less than 300 people the entire time that visited that. And that's what, listen,
Ryan, we
You can't
have to
blame-
promote that, we have to
how do you-
promote.
Let me ask you this, if you don't mind.
No, I'm not.
So what happens the other 6 months of the year when it's closed? And you have a welcome center sign that's, forget the fact it's going out of town, which is crazy enough, but it's going out of town, but it's
Ryan,
still
that
closed.
is your opinion that it's crazy enough.
I'm just saying,
It is
it's
not
six,
crazy
it's
enough.
closed 6 months out of the year.
I'm sorry, Ryan,
So what do you
that's
do for the
not,
other 6
that's not
months?
acceptable for you to say that.
It's
I mean-
closed for 6 months out of the year. So what's the difference between sitting empty 6 months out of the year and sitting empty, which I don't want to see it empty. I think it's a great opportunity for Beckley to lease it to something that could benefit, that could make revenue and be an attraction. There was a little girl, let me speak one last thing.
Okay.
So the little girl that was here, her last name was Farhart. She come up and spoke, and she was like, listen, she's called me twice. I don't even know how she got my number. She's like, I'm a young person, I go to Woodrow, I want to see Beckley thrive. So I brought up the fact to her at the Welcome Center. She said, we went by that, she said, we didn't even know it was closed down, but my friends were like, well, I'm sure there's nothing there, why would we go to a Welcome Center? That's her words, not mine. So I just say you know, part of it too is you have to look, and I hope we do. What I would wish, if there's 10 of us up here, and it costs $17,000 to put a staff there, that each one of us would think it would be worth 10% of our money, $1,700, to keep that open. And to me, it's just a bad investment. I think you could have something so much
Ryan,
better
you gotta
there.
think about when you say a bad investment. We've got some numbers floating around there, and this is
Oh, it's
so
one of them.
little. This is,
It's one of
it's
them.
it is small in comparison
But
to everything.
inches
It
become
is-
feet.
Nancy
Pennies
has
become
something to
dollars.
Ms. Dingus has something to say.
I'm not against a welcome center, but the location is what I think hurts it. If you go down to Lewisburg, which I like, unfortunately, to go down there and have a good meal, they have a great welcome center in the middle of town. People are in there. They have different exhibits. You could have some of the businesses put up small things. You could have some of your potters put stuff out. You could use that building. Actually, we use it a lot for restrooms because they always have very clean ones. But it's a focal place that people go. It has a place to sit, watch TV while other people are shopping. So I think location would make a big, it needs to be downtown.
Where would they park, Nancy? It's on the rail trail. That would be that's the.
Well, there's no
trail.
parking there
There's no
either.
parking there either. I mean, like I suggested in my emails, I mean, I think it's a terrible location. You're on a one-way out of town. And I mean, like Ms. Dingus is saying, I mean, I made the suggestion of putting in one of the little suites at WJLS and have one
That's what
staff
I was
member.
thinking. Yeah.
Exactly what I sent 2 months ago when this got brought up is, I mean, if you have 3 people there, you can't tell me one person couldn't man it. There's no reason we needed 3 or 4 people down there at a time. So then that's just mismanaged, and, you know, that's a thing of the past, and we gotta move forward to make it better, but I just think the location is bad.
The location is optimal. You're on the rail trail. You've got bikes.
How many people come through the rails trail and stop there?
There's
An average
there's
of
a
3.
parking lot across the street.
How many more people
We're
would
gonna-
stop there if they were downtown shopping at Tiffany's, going to the Dish, and if it was right there beside it,
Where can they
rather than that?
park, Brian?
I'm
Where-
Cody, but I mean, we're working on
I'm
parking lots
sorry.
right now, all down Neville Street and Earwood. We're working on that,
Where
but
can they see that building is hidden?
well, they can't see this one until they leave town.
You can see it on Robert C. Burr Drive, you can see it is, I mean,
Like I said, I think in a suite on Main Street would make way more sense for the foot
You
traffic.
can do the
of
flowers
downtown.
down there in front of it. I mean, you could make it a focal point if you wanted to, but I think I think the location is what kills it. A one-way street,
Out of town.
especially where it's located going out of town is, you know, we could use that building for something else, I'm sure. I'm sure we could find something for that to be used for.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we
But-
have a veterans group that provides bikes that would like to take up at least part of the room in the garage there.
And they might want to stick around and watch if people need to, you know, get the bikes to ride. That would be great. I mean, if they do that. But I just think downtown is a better place for it to be. Have some vendors come in, put their things out for a couple weeks, you know, get it to where it changes a lot. You can keep it open year round. I mean, that to me would be the way to do it. Go down, and when you're in Lewisburg, go in that visitor center. It is really nice. They do it right, and they also got a grant to do that with. So the money was not from the city of Lewisburg. It was pretty much a grant.
So do you think
Plus
it needs
from
to be
USDA.
changed? So does the name need to be changed to the Rails of Trail Center? I'm being sarcastic.
But then, if we talk about location, is there
Frank.
anywhere,
Frank, can't hear you. Put it on.
is there anywhere else, say coming off the interstate, coming down Hopper Road, is there any structure up there that can be found that we can put a weapon center?
Visit Southern West Virginia is on her.
It's already there.
Yeah,
It's the
but-
same thing as, I mean,
Well,
it's
but
the
that's
welcome
off,
center.
but that's off to the right. I mean.
Well,
I
coming
don't
into
see-
town, you want it on the right. You don't have to get across
but
traffic.
what I'm saying is, I don't see no big sign up there.
There's one in the front yard.
Yep, once you go past it. Well, I'm just, I mean, I travel the road all the time.
neon light, I guess.
I mean, I'm just asking, okay,
Put a
okay.
vape on
Then what about on the southern part, coming off of 64? I mean, you got that little barber shop down there, it used to be there, I don't know if it's still there or not. Come down,
barber shop.
down about Captain D's.
Yeah,
Jack Quick's old place.
Grimes, yeah.
So we do have in the application still yet for the earmark for the Welcome Center on the 64 side. That's still, it's still out there as well.
Does this not speak to y'all's hearts right here? Does this not speak to y'all's hearts? Look at this. Look at all those kids. You've got the rail trail right there and bikes.
That's the focus. That is the focus, Councilwoman.
So call it, like
I
Janine
think that
said,
is
call
called,
it.
yeah,
the trail.
that is the focus because the bikes are there and the rail, you know, for the rails and trails,
I
so.
think it
And
needs to
Mitch
be.
is the one who knows about the Rails to
Mitch,
Trails.
yes.
And CSX is involved in this because of Rails to Trails. We can't necessarily easily sell it because we have to deal with CSX.
Now, I have one other comment about the rails to trails. My sister does bike on it quite often. She has seen some horrendous things on it, and I don't know if you'll get those to stop. And it's things that children don't need to see.
So you think we
That's
need
good.
more patrol on the,
Yeah, you're not
Well,
gonna
I
stop
mean,
that.
I don't know how much you can patrol it to still have it, because most of those people are the homeless people. And, you know, she's witnessed a lot, some running with no clothes on, I mean, so,
But your patrol's picked up there this summer, correct, with the bike?
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they hide, I mean,
And still, you're gonna have problems, you know, it's
you're
just
not gonna be
the
prevented.
way it is.
You know, Ron, you made a comment a couple months ago. You said, just give me a year. I'm going to turn black lawyer. Just give me a year. You said about the numbers and everything. Do you remember saying that? Give me a year. Just give me a
I
year.
said you all, I said we should give it a year.
Okay, give
Because
it a year.
some people wanted to
We
get rid
just-
of it.
well,
Yep.
We
I said,
need
let's
to
give it a
give,
year.
and there are numbers that we need to discuss that. Look, that's not on the agenda tonight. However, give the Welcome Center a year. Let us use those bikes that are already there. The inventory's there, Leslie? The inventory's there? Mr. Gerald, you had said, well,
What?
2 employees, part-time employees there. Give it some time. Let's revitalize. Let's do what the chamber CEO says it's the optimal place to have a welcome center. Well, you don't have to call it a welcome center. You don't have to call, but
I don't think
Michelle's,
that's what she said.
She
She
has
told,
told me something completely
she
different.
told me
Completely
different.
different.
She told me absolutely that was
Yeah, that
misinterpreted.
is-
she has an email that she sent all of us.
And she said
And,
it was
Janine saw it.
misinterpreted.
You saw it?
That's what she told me.
She
Do
said,
you
told
have
you what?
public
It was
restrooms in it?
misinterpreted, that email.
Are there
She's-
restrooms
she-
in there, Russell?
She's already out here trying to lease it to bike shops and everybody else. So she did not absolutely say that it was, well, Jill was there when she told me, that she did not absolutely say that ought to be a welcome center. She said
Or
somebody
not a-
misquoted her.
Or quote,
Okay.
or name something else, but
Yes.
she wants she would say that the bikes and the head of the rail trail, not, I mean,
Right.
rebrand it, doesn't have to be the welcome center, but we shouldn't get rid of the bikes.
No,
We
I'm
should
not
have
for
it.
getting rid of the bikes, if
I
we wanna
just-
make it a trailhead, I'm just
A trail.
calling it a welcome
That's what you-
center and.
Well, it doesn't have to be called the welcome center,
Yeah,
but
I
it just should be,
yeah.
I think it needs to just, well, you know, I'm just.
Well, I think the bikes are a good thing, because maybe if you got more on the trail, it would discourage people from not doing the things they're
And as
doing
far
on the
as
trail.
misrepresenting, except what does that mean, Natalie,
But
misrepresented?
that wasn't what she meant, that when she wrote the letter, that wasn't what she said. She said that she thought it was a good idea, but if it was too expensive.
And
I have the
rebrand it?
letter,
Yeah, okay.
But she did not specifically say she thought it had to be a welcome center.
I didn't say, okay, but to remain the building there, to leave the building there.
She didn't
This is-
suggest getting rid of the building. Nobody has, to my knowledge.
Rebrand it then, as she said in her email. Rebrand it, bring the bikes out, they're there. We have this downtown revitalization going on. You mentioned Tiffany's.
And
I mean-
maybe it's a little confusing as a welcome center plus a place to rent bikes. Maybe if you call it something
That's- okay.
bike rental,
Yeah.
like they do in Fayetteville and other places, it's just a big sign that says bike rental. And then maybe you could be open more than 6 months. What I would like to see, and the reason I don't like it at a welcome center is
It doesn't-
it's only open a short period of time. And then it sits empty a whole winter, you know?
Just like
Just something that's.
Councilwoman Dingus brought up a good idea of to have other businesses, I know you're talking about the other 6 months,
Mhm.
but have the other businesses to maybe display something else within the building itself.
Have y'all been in that building?
Several times.
You
Have
know how
you?
big it is?
Yeah, have you? When were you last in?
Yeah.
Okay, most of it's taken up with bicycles.
That's now,
it's
but
called a
were you
bike
in there
rental.
when?
That's-
people-
That's
I
where the
understand
garage
that.
was.
You can also, I mean, you can take garage doors out and put glass windows in there and make it a
Right, but I'm
display
just saying,
shop
were you
too.
ever, did you ever
So-
visit
so-
it while Vicky Webb was there? Did you ever
Sure.
go in there then?
Sure, I know Miss Webb.
No, the question is, did you go in there when she was there?
I know you
I went in there. Yeah.
Rebrand it, okay, and rebrand it.
The heating and air is also a problem.
Do what, Lee?
The heating and air is also a problem in the building. There's no heat, no air conditioning.
Were the computers stripped out of there?
They went to the IT department, yes.
So it's not a year-round building at this time.
Correct.
Well, if you're gonna do a welcome center, you need to do that year-round.
I agree.
I mean, that's the
That's my
reason
two
for
cents.
having a welcome center.
Well, anybody else?
I never expected this to be this contentious. It's a
Yes.
small building.
Let's make the most of it. Let's put something in there that
I don't-
we're super proud of, that
Yeah.
Beckley's bike rental,
Thank
I don't
you.
know, something that brings in revenue instead of just.
I think the biggest problem is the fact that it closed, and we didn't know anything about it. It closed 3 days before Bridge Day. It was stripped, and I think that's the big, I mean, you know, when you get cut, and the cut continue to spread, the little Band-Aid ain't gonna help any matter. And I think that's the biggest problem with this. I can understand all points of view on that. I think we do need to come up with a conclusion. Somebody gonna like it, somebody not, but as council, if it's nay, then we have to learn with the nay. If it's yes, the ones that want to say nay, you have to learn to deal with that. But we need to do, I heard a lot of good suggestions on that building. A lot of good suggestions.
Rebrand, the volunteer, Southern West Virginia Volunteer Center and Welcome Center combined, I mean, I rebrand it. I mean, the bikes are important, the bikes are there. I know heating and cooling is an issue, but I just think that we're losing out. It's right there at the trailhead. It was successful before. I don't want to be redundant, quality of life. We need to just focus and have a round table and get Michelle at the table with us and go forward.
Well,
I mean, but we were-
whatever it is, I think it ought to be year-round.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I love the
whatever it
idea of
is, I
year-round.
think it ought to be year-round.
I love the idea of year-round.
Another difficult thing, on a welcome center, you usually have bathrooms. That
There's
has
what?
one small bathroom. On a welcome center, that's all I'm saying. On a welcome center, you got a men's
Just
and a
one
women's large bathroom, handicapped, matter of fact. That bathroom there is very small, and there's only one, and it's not handicapped, so.
That's what I'm saying. So
Do you all understand what I mean?
So-
We didn't even know that it was gonna close and it just closed. It just closed. I mean,
I didn't know about it until an employee told me. I knew nothing about it.
So
That's
if you
kind of
want it
embarrassing.
rebranded, most certainly, I've talked to Mitch and,
yeah.
and
And I do like I mean, you got our officers that are on bikes now, right, Chief? You got officers on bikes? I mean, I just think that it's a win-win.
excuse me, the trails that's off of the soccer fields, do they belong to us or are they Beaver Land Companies? Okay, so where are we at with leasing those from Beaver Land Company? Joe Bevel. For how long? So,
Yesterday, he said, this has gone on too long, can you ask Gavin, and I spoke to Gavin, and, I know, I asked him. No, it goes to Maps, and, it's gonna be a very simple lease, basically, they have it all pretty much drawn up, it just needs to have somebody legal look over it. And then it's more of a lease / memorandum of understanding between.
so Beaver Land didn't want to do their own lease? I mean, he's got lawyers left and right, Joe Bevel does.
He's waited for over a year for his lawyer.
For his lawyers to get a
Yes,
lease?
sir. And he told Mitch it just needs to happen.
Well, if we don't, if
Have
Bill
you-
doesn't have time or Gavin doesn't have time, let me know and we'll get somebody to draw up a lease. I want those trails open. If that's what we're gonna advertise, and if that's what Mitch has to do, is advertise those particular trails, cause he said the only trail he has is Rails to Trails.
Well-
To even advertise if somebody stops there. So,
There's also the small 1 mile trail in New River Park that
Right.
they've been working on as well. But the thing
but
about.
but it's not completed, it's been worked on.
Yeah, the importance of the Beaver Land Company property is we will be able, once we get that memorandum and that lease, to link it up to the trail, the
Other
waterfall trail.
trails,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
okay. All right, that's what I understand. Me and Mitch had a little meeting today, So I've worked with Beaver Land when I was with the county board, so that's not a problem. What do you do? It was there before. If you want it rebranded, hey, we'll try
For the
something.
bikes, for the
I mean,
bikes.
if that's what you
for the
want.
bikes. Jessica, can you clarify that, the money again, that I asked about the other day, that you?
Sure.
Okay.
So the numbers you were looking at the other day, the 497,000 that you had mentioned a few times, that is last year's budget amount for the hotel occupancy tax that was going to there's 497 that goes to the parks, 497 that goes to the CBB. This year's number, the hotel occupancy estimate is $1 million, so we put $500,000 in each place. We're required to give half to CBB and half to the Parks and Rec. So that increased from the 497 previous year to 500 this year.
And that's by statute.
But, yep, that's state
I
code.
understand that. So,
Let me ask you a question now. On
Sure.
that right there, the other day when we talked to you, I thought you said it was a 3-year split. Because I was thinking in my head it was $187,000 per person, per.
No, it's only a two split. It's split between Parks and CVB.
Okay, but that's not what you said the other day.
Yeah, that's,
Yes, exactly
that's the
what
Parks and CVB.
You said
Oh, she said
three, that's why I
three-way split.
clarified yesterday, you said CVB,
Mhm.
Board
Park
of Public
Recreation and
Works.
Public Works.
No, Public Works doesn't receive that money. Coal severance can be split between Public Works and Parks. Hotel motel is between Parks and CVB.
Okay, well, it's amazing how you went from 3 to 2. I don't understand it, but,
I'm sorry you misunderstood.
okay, no, I didn't misunderstand. I know it came out your lips.
Can we expedite rebranding so that we don't lose out on the rest of the summer?
Is it, how hard is
It's
it gonna be to
amazing.
get the employees?
She always forgets
That's
something.
what concerns me. I mean, we got, right now, we're looking for golf
Yeah.
personnel right now.
Looking for who? What is that?
Yeah. And they're all going back to schools, and it's gonna be hard to find a part-time employee.
We haven't advertised though, Phil. People might want to.
Well, they might, but I'm just saying, we need, well, I
mean, I
gotta
know.
finish
I
out
mean-
golf, I mean, I gotta finish out golf too, so we gotta find employees there, because they're leaving to go to schools, and
I just don't want to kick this can down the road.
I
I just
don't
don't want to
either.
kick this can
I
down the
don't,
road.
you know me, I got anxiety problems.
You
Hey.
what? Say it again?
I got an anxiety problem. No, I'm good, I get anxious on anything.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I do.
Stuff done.
Hey, we talked, we talked,
Everybody,
well, we talked about supporting Beckley. Let's go out and support Bill in her second Saturdays this week. If I'm not working, I'll be there. The downtown Pulse, yeah, she's worked hard on this. So she's worked really hard on this. We need to try to support her and those businesses down there
She does,
Saturday,
she does.
11 to 3.
She does an excellent job.
Yeah. And then also I heard, this is back to kind of opioid, FMRS closed their Oaks unit. Yeah, they have to be out this, by the end of the month.
They closed what?
Their FMRS Oaks unit at the end of the month.
That's one of the recovery
Right.
treatment units.
One of their treatment units. FMRS Oaks, I learned it Monday. Yeah. They have to the end of the month.
Wow.
Anything else?
So
Can
what-
we advertise
Do-
for part-time
do-
people to
When we
work with the
rebrand this,
rebranding?
do you want to include the police satellite station?
Yeah, I just think it's, I mean, to me,
What do you think?
man, if you're gonna brand it something, just be that. If you start adding
Okay.
other little things to it,
All right.
to me, it loses all its star power. You know, if you say, well, it's also this out, and it also doubles as this, and doubles this in the background. I mean, you could make it a knockout superstar bike rental place, if that's what we wanna do with it.
We'll go get one of the bike companies in Fayetteville and see if they wanna expand here, have their bike shop
There
there
you
where they sell
go,
it,
great
and then they can
idea.
rent them.
Maybe they wanna
We'll
lease the
donate
building.
them $30.
Yeah.
They can have it. There's like 6, 7 of them over there in Fayetteville, bike shops, and they could work on them in the back, sell them in the front, rent them out. And then we can put a welcome center somewhere that's more, better location for tourists in downtown that they can walk to.
But let's do it right.
Cause you're not gonna
Let's
walk
do it
down to
right.
the welcome center
Exactly.
if
Don't
they're
just-
shopping and eating, you're not gonna walk up and down that hill. It's not, you can't hardly get them to walk to the restaurants.
Anybody else?
I believe that's it, Mayor, for me.
Janine, bless your heart.
People really-
May I have a motion to adjourn?
I will put that hill future.
Second?
So moved.
Good to put
What's the conclusion?